Greetings, everyone. Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making. We're back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the just brand new released USS Arizona in 1/350th scale by a company called ChuanYu. Not 100% sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but nevertheless, this is a kit that I was first clued into after seeing some sprue shots at US Nationals this year. And upon doing a little bit further research, realizing what this kit was, I knew it was one that I absolutely had to acquire. So went ahead and did the Squadron pre-order. It just arrived last week, and I'm very excited to actually be able to open this up for the first time and take a look with all of you. Testament here to the engineering of the box, how tightly it fit. It was a little trouble getting that out. Nevertheless, this box is packed full of stuff, and the packaging is absolutely top notch. Like it wasn't like overstuffed full with stuff. It was packaged well. It was packaged nicely and intelligently. And there's some stuff later on, you'll see just how nicely it's presented, because you do get these individual boxes at the bottom that have all of the smaller parts there. So you can see I already pulled out like the main hull, the decks, and some other stuff, and then we get those smaller boxes here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and start by taking a look at the main hull. Now there is a fair amount of raised detail here for basically the weld lines for all the armor plate. And you could make arguments one way or the other that maybe it's a little bit too much, too raised. I think it's just enough, but you could easily just give it a quick sand and reduce that a little bit. But nevertheless, it's extremely well done. You get the plating along the bottom and the sides, so they're definitely using some slide molding here, but it's really impressive just because of all the different shapes in there. Here is the rear hull, or the rear main deck, the 01 level, I believe. Now you'll notice here the decks are pretty featureless, and that's because of something we'll see in just a moment here. But this is the front deck, like the front of the ship and the main deck there. You get the barbettes there, and this is why the deck is featureless, is because out of the box you get a full set of laser cut, laser engraved wooden decks, and these are very thin, very, they are self-adhesive. I have heard from other self-adhesive wooden decks that you still need to use some kind of adhesive for it, because the actual self-adhesive part doesn't necessarily stick on very well. You also get a set of masks for the deck. So once you apply the deck, you can mask it up and then paint around it, which is amazing. Here is one of the 2 Kingfisher seaplanes that you get. It's extremely well detailed for a 350th scale airplane. You get a separate engine, separate cockpit. You actually get other additional 3D printed parts for the cockpit. You do get a plastic non-clear canopy, but you also get an alternative photo etch part for the canopy. So it's extremely well detailed for such a tiny little plane. Here you get some additional, superstructure details and details for the observation towers that sit atop the main masts. Here you get a matched pair of sprues with the main turrets, which have very nice raised rivet detail on them, just very precise, very sharp. Underside of the turrets look nice as well. All of the ship's boats, and there's quite a few of them, very nice. You get the props here. Nothing remarkable about them. What's nice about the ship's boats is no ejector pin markings on the inside, which is amazing. And open up the second box here. This has all of the structural reinforcements for the hull. So you put the 2 halves together and you get all these structural reinforcements that go in between to keep the hull together. You do get, this is the funnel, and has very fine raised rivet detail on it. Very nice. And that'll look great underneath some paint. Here is the massive amount of photo etch that you get with this. We're going to take a look at that in just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the 3D printed parts that this kit comes with. So these are parts for the ship's boats, davits, various little, there's so many little parts here for the ship. We get the range finders, the gun directors, those 3 little parts up there, those are actually interiors for the Kingfisher seaplanes. More small parts, and some of these 3D printed parts are just absolutely tiny. And the detail they're getting out of this is very nice. You can see a few layer lines in places, but I think under a coat of primer and paint, that's largely going to disappear. So yeah, just so many very nice parts. You get the anchors here, and very well done. I'm very impressed with the quality here out of these 3D prints. And finally, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these last few parts. So these actually have the main breeches and bodies for the secondary battery, and they look really nice. And then we have a huge amount of metal parts here. So we got some chain that look like they're already like blackened, and then we get tons of turned brass and turned aluminum parts for various different things: antennas, gun barrels, you name it, mast parts, things like that. They all look very nice. There's really not a lot of point. There's the main gun barrels, very nice looking as well. Not a whole lot of pointed, kind of like deep diving on each one of those things, just because I don't know what all those parts are, but they all look really nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at this photo etch. Now this stack of photo etch, I think there's 14 or 15 sheets here, was like a significantly heavy to hold. It was quite impressive, and they all look really nice. And we're gonna kind of do a quick breeze through these here, but essentially, like, the way that this kit is designed is it's designed out of the box to accept all the multimedia parts. So all the parts you see here in photo etch do not have a corresponding plastic part. Like, the kit is designed that out of the box to accept the photo etch. You're not replacing anything. Like, these are the actual kit parts, and there's just so much detail in here. I'm just, for the amount that this kit costs, it just blows me away to how much you're actually getting out of this kit. It's a lot, and it's very impressive. The all the photo etch looked really nice. Here's the extra parts for the planes. Finally, a small sheet of decals, flags, pennants, markings for the aircraft, and waterline markings for the ship. Finally, we have the instructions. Now, this is kind of one of the good and bad parts of the kit. The instructions are very nice. They're full color. I personally like the way that they're laid out, but it's all loose paper, loose sheets. So I don't know. I might take this down to like a copy store and get it bound, like spiral bound. I think that might be helpful. Just because I know me, and I know that I'll most likely lose a page, and that would be kind of devastating for a kit like this. But I do appreciate the way that they've set up these instructions, and I know it looks a little odd with all the colors, but the colors actually, in retrospect, are really nice and really useful for delineating between different photo etch parts and how many you need and where they're supposed to go and how they're supposed to attach. I find it actually being interesting and useful and easy to read, because there's a lot going on. There's so many parts going into these, and having the color coordination kind of helps block it out and separate everything. So yeah, I'm this is a kit that I'm very happy that I purchased, that I'm very happy to have. I'm not disappointed at all. This is going to be a massive project, but definitely one that I'm looking forward to getting onto the workbench, probably in 2026. And yeah, so this is definitely recommend this kit for me. I know right now in the US you can get it off of Squadron. I'm sure there's a couple other places you can get it as well, but yeah, highly recommended. So thanks for watching. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel and for helping me to bring content like this to you. If you enjoy the video, if you enjoy the channel, go ahead and give the video a like, and go ahead and hit subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you to everyone. Take care. We'll see you around.